What conspiracy theory do you believe to be true? What evidence led you to this conclusion? Used to live in a small town in South Dakota and I'm convinced there is something in the food/water there to keep people there. Impartially convinced it's actually the Dairy Queen causing this, because for a town of 7,000, this place is always so busy and somehow, every year for the past 11 years, the entire length of this competition, sells the most blizzards on Miracle Treat Day. A town of 7,000 outsells every other Dairy Queen. There's also some other things, in that the town has a significant amount of people all with very similar disabilities to their left legs. I honestly am just glad I'm out of that town, before it sucked me in. But how the hell does that small ass town sell 40,000 blizzards in a day? The stories about Dan Snyder. Watching some clips of shows he produces is downright creepy. The tweets of his actresses' feet don't help his cause. That Reddit mobile is purposely broken to make you download the app. Edit. I forgot to include my proof. Basically, when I started using Reddit roughly 5 or so years ago it worked fine. Now every other page loads as page not found frickin' GIF makes to go to their website just to view a 5-second GIF. Plus to top it off they keep pushing the app on me that I already downloaded but refuse to use. It works terribly. The fact that there is a secret society of people keeping Long John Silvers in business. I have a sneaking suspicion that some televangelists may not be entirely sincere in their beliefs. I keep ink pens from every year dating back to 2008 in my desk, so that if I need to forge and backdate an important document I can sign it with ink that matches the year I'm backdating. Yes, feds do check ink in fraud investigations. Point not really a conspiracy, but might answer a few questions. Restaurant owners know how awkward it is to be sung to in front of the whole establishment, and they do it to discourage people from taking advantage of their free birthday food. Reddit admins get unlimited golden gold posts, so it can gain traction. Edit. r/award speech edits. I hit radio coordinates commercials breaks to all take place simultaneously, so you're forced to listen to ads even you change the station. They're practically a monopoly in my area, and I notice it happens to me all the time. Radio stations, even competitors, do this on purpose. No hidden conspiracy needed. If your main competitor airs spots, commercials, at 15, 30, and 45, it's in your interest to do the same. That way your listeners can't switch to music on another station during your spot break and potentially stay there. It's not like radio is secret. You can and should monitor competition and plan accordingly. To your original point, iHeart is just Clear Channel, and they tend to have a general template that all their stations follow. So one station will have its breaks at or around the same time as another. This is all based on a lot of market research and has generally been tested and refined over time to the point of ensuring rating success. Other stations follow suit. The negative side effect is the homogenization of radio. They all sound alike because it works, but it only works in a everything is mediocre kind of way. If someone does break from the pack and create a successful innovation, other stations follow, and the homogenization continues. For a further example, notice that local TV news shows tend to cover weather, sports, local news, etc. all at or around the same basic time. Source: programmed radio stations for years. Worked for Clear Channel. Played the same damned classic rock songs in a different order day after day, week after week. This is more of a personal conspiracy. I've been working as an American healthcare consultant for 2 years now, and I genuinely think that insurance companies are purposely denying claims so that they can leverage $ for their beneficiaries' medical records. For example, one of my clients, a huge and important hospital system, had to deal with hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical claim denials because Humana suddenly decided it didn't believe any of those hospital stays were legitimate. They basically told my client to either fax hundreds of medical records or accept the zero pays. It's really suspicious and unfortunate. But when they have the money, what can you do? The USA deliberately gets into an armed conflict every decade or so for the purpose of ensuring that at any given time, they always have a critical mass of soldiers with actual combat experience. they get in a lot of conflicts, and it seems highly probable that the leadership of a country that spends so much on national defense would highly value the institutional knowledge that comes from that kind of continuity of practical experience, even if it comes at a high human cost. Area 51 is not a place for secret government/military testing with aliens and stuff. Instead, Area 51 is a scapegoat, while shady behind the scenes stuff is going on at another military base that the general public doesn't know about. I mean, if you were really going to do something in secrecy, would you do it in the place where everyone thinks it is? Hell no. I don't have any specific evidence to back this up, but it makes sense, right? The Vila incident. I got to collect a bunch of Geiger counter data from a CubeSat a couple years ago and picked up a serious radiation spike over this random island. Googled the coordinates, and it turns out to be a potential secret Israeli South African nuclear testing site. Edit. Okay, so it's been pointed out that the sensor I used probably can't pick anything up like old nuke radiation. I dug up the file and mapped it using Power BI, and it looks like I was picking up a larger trend. Regular old atmosphere stuff. Maybe? Is it good evidence? Apparently not, but it's my evidence, goddammit. The first radiation spike I saw in the CSV was in the general region, so that's how I learned about the Vila incident in the first place. Here's the file, if anybody is interested, just for fun. It has magnetic, and acceleration data plus a few others. It was collected over 24 hours and LEOs away to test out which sensors would collect the best data for an educational satellite project I was trying to launch at my community college. CubeSat dataset. http://www.sherix.com/s/1f54e58b374d76a74d27/limsensors_fm29_lim/cf83c0 736C8E0B73C420-5 ed 771 BFC9, FM29, Ardusat experiment 614738. CSV radiation sensor datasheet. https://www.diviso.com/file/pdf/rd3024 data specification.pdf. Also, if any of you guys are interested in low-cost DIY satellites, Interorbital Systems has a slightly smaller standard called the TubeSat that is only $8,000 for the kit and the launch. Disney made Zootopia, partly to replace the Song of the South characters from Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is really the only thing that still exists in the public eye from Song of the South, along with the song Zip-a-Dee-Doo-Dah, since Disney wants to pretend that movie doesn't exist. So they created a movie featuring Fox and Rabbit characters that could replace Brer Fox and Brer Rabbit, and retheme the entire ride to be Zootopia themed, while leaving some things, like the name, and the songs featured in the ride, from Song in the South. There's also that Disney loves retheming things to their hype now, getting rid of Maelstrom, and bringing in a Frozen themed ride, so it would make sense for them to retheme ride to a successful recent movie than keep a ride based off an old, mildly racist movie they are trying to forget. I'm starting to think that the really stupid conspiracy theories, vaccines causing autism, flat earth, lizard people, etc., are intentionally spread by propaganda groups and troll farms. They don't care what stupid shit you believe, but they are very interested to know that you're a gullible mark who will believe anything with no evidence, and won't do research with authorities on the matter to find the truth. If you want to spread misinformation, look for the people who do it as a hobby. Our apartment building has windows that are nearly impossible to affix a screen to. Same goes for the sliding doors. The power is centralized and locked into a certain expensive power company. I believe the developer and power company conspired to make people living in the apartments use the aircon more by making it hard to keep windows open without dozens of mosquitoes coming inside. Edit. People are asking about my language. I'm Australian. Thanks to draconian Aussie renting laws, I'm pretty limited in which modifications I can do. I feel like drugs like cocaine being cut with fentanyl. No dealer who wants to keep making money is going to cut their blow with fent. It seemed like drugs are being intercepted, cut with dangerous shit and then sent back out. Evidence, they already did the same thing during alcohol prohibition. The people doing it are convinced they are doing society a favor. This has always been something in the back of mind. You're the first person I've heard say something like this though. I used to sell weed when I was younger, but I fraternized with people that sold much harder shit, i.e. heroin, coke and meth. In a competitive drug market you get customers by being known as the guy that doesn't cut your shit. Now I've never done fentanyl, but I've done a lot of coke and opiates. Coke gets you up and opiates put you down, so why the fuck would any dealer trying to sell blow cut their shit with an opiate? It doesn't make any sense to me. I guess you could argue that the more down you get, the more you wanna get up, so you buy more coke, but drugs don't always work like that, because there's usually a compounding effect that gets you more fucked up in a different way than either drug could fuck you up on its own. The whole thing just sounds fishy to me, like someone's either getting their facts wrong, or there's some kind of conspiracy afoot. I don't necessarily believe this, but I've always speculated that a lot of priceless artwork and historical documents are actually replicas or copies. Obviously a painting by a world famous artist using a very specific technique would be very hard to fake, and I don't think that every art scholar in the world is paid off in some grand conspiracy. Rather, I just think that either the national treasures never left their vaults, or that some national treasures actually were lost to history, but they were copied. If the copy is good enough, old enough, and all we've ever known, does it become a treasure in its own right? I mean, you can think of the United States Declaration of Independence and Constitution, or the comparable documents of many other nations. I presume there was definitely an original, but then several copies were made. The copies are considered nearly as valuable as the original. Slightly different, but related take on the matter.